Hi there, we are about to introduce my favorite formula. This is a proportion formula, and it's going to help us answer all kinds of questions, especially on the MAP test or on the CASP test, and for chapters 5 and 6 in our Big Ideas book for 7th grade. The questions we're going to be answering are, what percent of 25 is 13, or find 18% of 150, or 75 is blank percent of 250, or 14 is 35% of x, find x, or the last one, 1 is 2% of what number. So those are all different versions of the same type of question that can be answered with my favorite formula. So my favorite formula is percent over 100 equals is over of. Please say that back. Percent over 100 equals is over of. It's my favorite, and we're going to be identifying how you know what goes where. And we're going to actually use some colors. First off, in regular black is the 100. The 100 is going to go on the bottom left, and it's in black. And class, what does the 100 say? I never move. Say it again. I never move. So we're going to go down to number 1 and number 2, and we're going to create a proportion. So that's going to be two fraction lines with an equal sign between them, and please put the 100 on the bottom right. This is how we always set up these proportion problems. Now that you've done that twice with me, please continue and do them for examples 3, 4, and 5. These are percents, and percent means per 100, and that's what the fraction bar per 100 is actually representing. Okay, next. The easiest one to find is the percent number, or it's the second one we're going to do, and we're going to use the colors of a street signal. So this is going to be green. On your papers, you're going to see it says number 2 and green. So if you could take green, colored pencil, marker, highlighter, and go around to connect up with the percent number. Now, class, what does the percent number say? I'm in front of the percent sign or the word percent. Okay? So let's look down to number 2. It's a little hard to find in number 1, but let's look to number 2. Please underline in green your percent sign and then point to the percent number. What is it? Everybody out loud? What's the percent number in number 2? 18. Does everybody see it? Please write the 18 above the 100. Okay, now I want you to skip down, find the percent number for number 4. Okay, everybody sees it? Find the percent number for number 4. Well, the percent sign is here. It's going to be the number right in front. Everybody out loud, what is it? 35. Let's say it in one voice. Ready, go. 35. Good. Now, what about example 5? What's the percent number? Find it and tell me. Ready, go. 2. So those are always going to go above the 100 because percent symbol means divide by 100, per 100. So this 2% is 2 over 100. 35% is 35 over 100. 18% is 18 over 100. Now, for this one, it doesn't say the percent. We don't know the percent. The word percent is preceded by a blank. We don't know. So when we don't know, and it's the percent that's missing, let's use the variable p. So we remember that it's the percent that's missing. So up here, in front of the word percent, it said what. So we're going to use the variable p. P over 100. Okay, now it's time to get to the of number. The of number is going to be yellow. Class, what does the of number say? I'm the number just after of. So it's really easy to find. You find the word of, you look right behind it, and boom, that's the of number. So, class, for number 1, underline of, draw an arrow to the number right behind it. What's the of number? 25. Ready? Number 2. Just answer my questions first, then you'll color code. Class, what's the of number in number 2? 150. Class, what's the of number in number 3? 250. Okay, everybody's getting it? Now, this one's a little trickier. Number 4, example 4. Class, what's the of number for number 4? X. And what is the of number for number 5? Ooh. No, not 0. We don't know. Let's call it the variable n. You could use x, you could use anything else, but I use n for things standing for numbers, except for p. I use p when it's a percent. So you remind yourself, it's p equals, you're going to put a percent at the end. That's the symbol you put at the end. N is just going to be a number, and it doesn't need a percent sign. So right now you're going to write in these. I'm going to write it in yellow first, and then I'm going to write it in black so that I don't confuse my markers. Okay, last one. And this one is in red. It's a little chopped off at the top, sorry. It should say number 4, last, in red. And this is the is number. This is the tricky one. Everybody read. What does the is number say? I'm the number around is. Okay, so for the is number, it could be in front of the is or it could be behind the is. So the is actually stop. That's why it's the color red. So the green was easy, the yellow is relatively easy, so it's like green, yellow, stop before you do the is number, and make sure you have the right number. And we always do it last because by then you can use process of elimination. Class, what is the is number for example number 1? 13. It can't be 25 because you already used 25 as the of number. Okay, is there an of number in example number 2? Do you see anything that's not already assigned another thing? No. So we're just going to put the letter N. We don't know the is number. What is the is number for example number 3? Class, look for it and say it out loud. Everybody say it out loud, please. 75. 75 is the one that does not have anything assigned to it. So 75 is it. What is the is number for example 14? Example 4? 14. I messed up. You got me. So put that on the upper right-hand side. And last, you see it. What is it? 1. Okay. Once you have these, you're going to be solving the same way that the proportion song tells you to solve. So, the proportion song is a whole different video, but let's quickly solve this one using shortcut method. How could you get from 2 down to 1? How could you get from 2 down to 1? Multiplying or dividing? Turn to your mathmate. How could you get from 2 down to 1? What could you do? By what? 2 divided by what is going to equal 1? Okay. Not 1. 2 divided by 2. So we're going to do that on the top, and you're going to do the same exact thing on the bottom. So divide by 2. So what is 100 divided by 2? 50. So n is going to equal 50. So sometimes you can use shortcut, which is the fast, easy way to use the factors. You can divide. You can use conversions Converting 2 down to 1, you divide both by 2. Let's look for another one that's relatively easy. Let's go to number 1. How could you get from this bottom 25 up to 100? Talk to your math mates. How could you get from 25 up to 100? Okay, if you know, what would you do? Multiply by 4. Good. So 25 times 4 is 100. Now you need to figure out what's 13 times 4. 13 times 4. So break it up. What's 13 times 10?
40.
I'm sorry. What's 4 times 10? 40. You knew what I was going to say. I'm glad. Thanks so much. 4 times 10 is 40. And what's 4 times 3?
12.
12. Add those together.
52.
52 is it. Good. So here, P equals 52. Now, it's the percent that's missing, so what are we going to put at the end? Percent sign. 52%. Good. Now, for these others, you're going to use cross products to solve. What does that mean? Well, this is where we use the thing that I call butterfly. Some of you were using it before with multiplying fractions, but I told you, no, let's use factor bubbles instead. That's because we're going to use cross products to solve. So you're going to hear in the proportion song, it's going to say, proportions are the two ratios you label to set up just fine. They are equal, so you cross multiply. So let's cross multiply. Class, what's 100 times n? Just push them together. What do you get? 100n. That's it. So please write next to here 100n. Equals. Now, what's 18 times 150? Well, I don't know what that is. So I'm just going to write it on the side. 18 times 150. 840, carry the 4. 1200, placeholder 0, 0, 5, 1. 2,700. Okay, good. So this equals, when we multiplied it out, 2,700. So 18 times 150 equals 2,700. Now, the proportion song goes like this. Proportions are the two ratios you label to set up just fine. One thing you use to label is this formula. Say our favorite formula. Ready, go. Percent over 100 equals is over of. Make me believe it. Percent over 100 equals is over of. Good. So this is the labeling. So in the proportion song, when I say you label to set up just fine, you labeling it using this formula is also great. Okay, now 100n equals 2,700. So the song goes like this. Proportions are the two ratios you label to set up just fine. They are equal, so you cross multiply, then divide the product on both sides. On both sides, you divide by the coefficient on both sides. Wow, what's the coefficient here? Well, the coefficient lives in front of the variable. So what's the coefficient?